Okay, so welcome to our team benefit team call for Tuesday, October the 13th. And so tonight, what I'm going to do, let me get my light turned on a second. Well, is that okay? Let's see here. Okay, so tonight what I'm going to do is actually take you guys through part of what we went over at leadership. And when I was there, I took all my notes, and then on the way home, and I'm telling you this so that maybe when you're at something, it's just a strategy to help you get the most out of your training experience. But anyway, there are a couple different ways you can do it. Sometimes, and I think what Shalene does, Shalene Johnson, is she'll save a couple pages at the beginning of her notebook for action steps. And I've done that before, and that's grand also. This time what I did was I just took all of my notes and then went back and categorized my notes by statistics and information. So that's one category. Inspiration, quality questions, and action. So I'll just show you maybe. Off to the side, it'll have an A, an I, an S, and a question mark. So I was able to just go back through and then input all of this into the computer to save my notes in categories. Because as we are learning, and maybe you already know, great leaders ask great questions. And so if we can keep a running tally of really good questions, we will become better coaches. Coaching is all about asking the right questions, not giving information and advice. So we're not going to go over those grand questions tonight. However, we are going to go over some of the statistics and information and inspiration. So that's what tonight's call is about. If by chance this goes past 35 minutes, I'm going to cut it off, and then we'll pick up next week where we left off, because I want to make sure that I keep everybody's time valued. And then my emeralds and above are invited to a leaders call after this, where I'll be talking about some of the more advanced topics and some of those questions as well that I've referred to. Okay, so there is a lot going on, as always. There's always fun stuff going on. Fall Classic is coming up. Registration starts on the 19th. I believe that is this coming, Monday. So make sure that you and 2 others are going to be partnering up. Is that right? If you've got 3 people to partner, grouping up, and get yourselves registered, come up with a fun name, go ahead and start planning a strategy and figuring out what your goals are as a team. Figure out, is it a number of lives that we're going to impact in the month of November? What is it that we're about? What are we doing? And then break it down. I would recommend doing that in equal parts, so that everybody has shared responsibility for reaching the team goal, and start getting excited. It's a really, really fun time if you go into it and decide that you're going to be committed to your team and doing whatever it takes to support the team goals. And then there will be lots of fun prizes that Beachbody reveals to us more closer to that time. Super Saturday this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you live. If you want to attend, which you should be, this is like non-negotiable in my mind, and you don't know where you have a location closest to you, you can find that information out in your Coach Online office under events, which is under news and training. So definitely look there. There's an interactive map, and you can find out where the closest ones are to you. Okay, so we're going to dig right in, and also props to Kendra and Rachel, who facilitated, I believe, our mastermind this last week. Is that correct? Something like that? Yeah, okay. So thank you, girls, for doing that. Or was it the new coach call? Or kind of both? Anyway, you guys helped me out, and I appreciate it. And Crispin helped me run the challenge group while I was gone, so I totally appreciate that. Okay, so now we're going to start. All right, so I'm going to fly through. I actually have in a document all typed up and handy for you guys, the inspiration. So I'm actually going to start with kind of the just information type stuff. And then that way, if we don't get to the inspiration, I'll just get that document to you. I still will probably want to go over it a little bit because it's kind of helpful, you know, like not trying to interpret somebody else's notes. But I thought this was really interesting. And this is going to kind of skip around a little bit, so bear with me. 33,000 packages are mailed out from Team Beachbody every single day. 33,000 every day. That's more than any other direct marketing company in the country. We ship out more packages per day than any other direct marketing company out there. This was Carl talking to us and talking about some of the customer service issues that he hears about, that kind of thing, and having that conversation that is just not that pleasant. He said that we don't currently own our fulfillment center, and that's something down the road that they would obviously like to be able to do. And so most of what we have is manual. So if somebody is fulfilling an order, it's Joe actually walking over and picking it up off the shelf and putting it into a box, right? Where something like Amazon is automated. So there's a big difference there. And first steps first, they are currently meshing two systems, like one's an Oracle type system and one is called something else, and they're meshing those. And they, because of the just massive quantity of packages being shipped out, and also just the number of customers and coaches that we have, they're making sure that they move through this in a really conservative way, because if something messes up, it impacts so many people. So I would rather see them take their time and do it well and do it right and check and double check things before, you know, they like pulled the plug on one and then something were to happen. So he said he had a really good question, and I will share this little question with you, even though it's on the question page. He said, you know, if somebody has a problem, he asks, are you going to let this define your action, belief, and business? I was like, that's a pretty good one. Pretty good question. Okay, so we obviously have a couple of new workouts coming out, lots and lots of fun there. We did Masters Hammer and Chisel with Sagi and Autumn while we were there. And then we also did a top secret workout. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share it on Facebook or not. I will share at least my video to our team page, but don't share it outside of that because I'm not sure if I've got permission yet to do that. But it doesn't have a name yet. It will be using Joel and Jericho that were in Les Mills Pump, who are now going to be Beachbody trainers, and they may already be doing some stuff on Beachbody on demand. So that's really, really fun, really intense workout too, but they use the terminology functional fighting. So anyway, and it was great music, and I would not expect anything less because they're used to great music as well from Les Mills. So that'll be really great. Now, this is one of the most exciting things that I think we went over. And maybe I will type this up into kind of like an infographic for you guys to see later on, but I at least have to read through this, and then maybe you'll grasp like how big of a deal this is. Okay, so in 2014, there were 197 elite coaches out of what now are about 400,000 coaches, okay? So our team was one of those elite teams, right? That is the top 0.05% in the whole company. Top 0.05%. Now, here's where it gets really fun. Challenge packs, the number of challenge packs sold, 2% of those were sold. So 2% were sold by those 197 elite coaches. 59% of all the challenge packs sold were sold by elite coaches and their teams, 3 levels down. So that would be my personally sponsored coaches, their coaches, and then their coaches. So they call that an advancement team. So 59% of all the challenge packs sold were sold by those 197 coaches and their advancement teams, 3 levels down. That's huge. Coach signups, so new coaches coming in, 3% of new coach signups were done by the elite coaches and 60% by that advancement team. Success Club points, 2% done by the elite coaches, and then 59% of Success Club points were earned by elite coaches and their advancement team. Personal volume was 1% by the elite coaches and still 53% by those elite coaches and their advancement team. So the number of lives that this represents is like phenomenal, and you guys are freaking rock stars, because these numbers show just how powerful the elite advancement teams are, and you guys are part of that. And you need to know, you need to grasp how big of a deal it is and how big of a role that you play in the overall scheme of this company. Like, it is phenomenal. It's a great word for this. And I knew that you were awesome, but to be able to put numbers with it is even more cool. You know, it's just like affirmation that we are doing amazing things. I also got the monthly report while I was gone, and our team is still tracking to hit that this year, which is very exciting. And again, you each play a role in that. So even if you've had a bad month, or maybe September was crappy or whatever, don't discount the role that you are playing, because it's vital. Each and every person on this team is part of that advancement team and makes a huge difference. So again, like, I'm just blown away by how amazing this team is, even though, you know, in the scheme of things, we're small in numbers, like we are just mighty in power. So really, really cool stuff. Did you guys see or hear about Cafe Latte Shakeology? That's another, obviously, a big announcement. And we tried it. I had it a couple, let's see, was it 1 or 2 different ways? Had it just with almond milk and ice. And it was good. There were some people that were like raving about it. And I was just like, yeah, it's fine. So we'll see how it all turns out. I could have probably stood to have it taste a little more coffee-ish. So it was not a really strong coffee flavor, you know? So I think it'll be pleasing to people. And if they actually want to add cold coffee to it, they can. But it does use the whole coffee bean. Yes, darling. Love you. So I'm curious to see what the recipe menu will look like when they come out with it, you know, trying to figure out how many things can you do with Cafe Latte Shakeology. So I think if we start looking at the Starbucks menu, we could probably get some good ideas of how we may be able to make it with some pumpkin pie spice or chai flavorings or apple pie drops, or I don't know, just different things. So that will be the next thing, and that'll be coming out in first quarter of 2016. And then we've got Hardcore, which is Tony Horton's latest workout. He got married this last week, so he was not at leadership like normal, but that, if you haven't seen the trailer, you got to go on YouTube or look on our team page for the Hardcore, and it's CORPS, Hardcore trailer, because it's pretty cool. 22-minute Hardcore is the official title. And I'm anxious to do that as well. It looks like it really will be kicking some butts for sure. I'm a little on the scared side, but I think it'll be really good. This I thought was just interesting. Oh, wait, sorry, a little bit more on hardcore. That releases in March. And okay, so you know how we get a t-shirt for finishing most of the challenge, whatever, the programs? For 22-minute hardcore, you're actually going to get a challenge coin. So like if you visit different military bases, you can get a coin at each military base. When I finished the John Maxwell certification, they gave us a coin. And so anyway, you will get a coin prize for finishing 22-minute hardcore to go along with the military theme. And so yeah, it'll be really, really fun. Then Fixate cookbooks, over 200,000 have been sold since July. Like, that seems huge. It's only October. So I thought that was interesting. Then to update you guys on Summit, there are 27,000 people registered for Summit, okay? And there are 15,000 on the waiting list. That's crazy. Thinking of where we were at 7,000 like a couple of years ago, I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of people. But they're still very confident that everybody on that waiting list will get in. They said based on the numbers of people that they typically see cancel between now and, the time that it actually comes to fruition, they're very confident that all of those people on the waiting list are going to attend. So if you haven't registered for Summit, register for Summit and get there and just make the commitment to make it happen, because it's worth it. And then, of course, if you're a new coach or you have new coaches, then help them hit Success Starters, which means Success Club 5 in their first 3 full calendar months as a coach, and then they get to go for free. That's the best of all worlds. And their spot is guaranteed. So they don't have to deal with a wait list at all. Okay, so currently, this is interesting too, especially if you're a numbers person. There are 457,292 people on Shakeology. 457,292 people on Shakeology. Now, one thing that I'm not positive of, and I'll have to clarify that statistic, I don't know if that includes the 400,000 coaches or not. I kind of wouldn't be surprised either way. So I'll have to find that out. Last year, the average person the average customer was on Shakeology HD for 4.2 months. And this year it's up to 4.3 months. Now, one takeaway that I had from that is that I'm not asking my customers to stay on it for a certain amount of time. I'm just like getting it in their hands and then hoping and praying and doing a rain dance that they'll stay on it. And if we want people to do something, we need to make it clear to them of what we want them to do, right? We need to set expectations and let them know that, hey, if you start this now, 6 months down the road, you're going to be feeling a lot better. We need to be planting seeds and setting expectations and letting them know what to expect over the course of 6 months. Because as we all know, we didn't feel the same way after we drank it for a week. We didn't feel the same way after drinking it for 30 days. We don't feel the same way after 6 months of having that in our systems. So we need to do better at communicating our expectations. Part of that is what I'm planning on. I've already got it down on paper. I just need to put it into the computer system. A place where I have really failed as a coach is in coaching my challengers. And there has been maybe one challenge group in the last 4 years that I'm really, really, really proud of. And I was really hardcore about getting measurements and weight and weekly updates. And if they didn't get it, then they were out. They had the best results out of the whole 4 years. And I don't have a system in place to be able to track people and keep everybody straight. And, I'm like, so somebody will post a happy on the team or whatever, the challenge group page. I'm like, now what program are they doing again? And was this day 2 or was this day 92? I have no idea. And that's my own fault because I struggle with systems and tracking. So I have figured out the way that is going to work for me and doing that for each challenger. And once I get it into the computer, I'll share that. If it works for you, great, then use it. If it doesn't, then don't worry about it. Not every system is for every person, and that's okay. But I just did want to pass that on to you guys that that is coming. And we are going to be much better coaches. We're going to be have much more successful coaches when we create more successful challengers. And I'm still seeing a decent number of coaches that say they're coaching, but they're not in a challenge group. And they're not doing a program. They're not committed to a program from start to finish. And that's got to change, because that's one of the vital behaviors. You know, like straight up, we got to be using the products and being a product of the product and being able to put those before and after pictures out there on a regular basis. So that's just a little bit of tough love there. Okay, so back to this. Some master's hammer and chisel information. You guys ready for this? So for the first time in a program, there's going to be what's called SSP. That stands for Stabilization, Strength, and Power Training, SSP. And so this program can help you shed fat, gain muscle, and also get lean and chiseled all at the same time. The chisel workouts, so chisel is autumn, hammer is beast. Okay, so they're associating one with hammer, one with beast, okay? The chisel workouts, which is autumn, are about 35 minutes, and there is more building in that than the fix extreme. The hammer workouts, they didn't mention the time. The hammer workouts both build muscle, but there's also more stability, balance, and explosive type movements than there had been in beast. So there's building, but there's also stability, balance, and explosion. So I did post that video of the outtakes where they're just a mess together. A really, really funny dynamic. And it was the same on stage live, just funny stuff. And this is definitely a new approach with Team Beachbody. We've never had two celebrity trainers in one video program before. So it's definitely different, and they think alike, but yet they have different approaches. And different strengths. So it'll be really cool. And then the nutrition is going to be based on the fix. So the Masters Hammer and Chisel workout will come with containers. And there are 3 options for nutrition. You've got a maintenance option in terms of weight, but you can still chisel with that because your weight may stay the same, but you'll be chiseling. So that's one track. You'll have a second track option, which is more focused on weight loss. And then there's a third nutrition track that is focused more on building. So no matter what your goals are, you'll still be able to use the fixed containers and still be able to use Masters Hammer and Chisel to help you reach your goals. I think that's pretty cool. I'm also hearing a lot about all of the variety in the program. There are 12 discs, and it sounds like you really never feel like you're doing the same workout twice. Tons of variety. There's also powerlifting, which is going to be a first in Beachbody. And they said that there is tons and tons of focus on safety and form when we're talking about powerlifting. So yeah, much more variety than previous programs. It's 60 days long, and it will be released on Tuesday, December the 1st. They said that, and here's a tip for all of us, to start showing us doing less than 1 minute video clips of us doing the Masters Hammer and Chisel preview workouts. So it'd be a really good idea over the next couple of months, October, November, regular basis, to be putting videos on your wall, less than a minute long, of you doing Masters Hammer and Chisel workouts. Now, if you want to be really effective with your time, go through both. There's 2 workouts on Beachbody On Demand. Go through those workouts 1 time each and take snippets of videos through the whole thing. And then you'll have them to use for 2 months. You'll have more than enough. So that's what I would recommend in terms of your time. I was also provided an elite preview disc. So in addition to the 2 workouts that are on there, but I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to try and get to that tomorrow. And depending on what that is and how it's different, then I'll share that with you guys as well. Do you guys have any questions on the new stuff coming out? Nothing? Okay. They did have another session on technology and talking more about that. There are, I think sometimes, at least in my head, I think of like our IT guys as like 6 people in a little room, like tinkering away, like little mice or something. But there are actually 398 people on our technology team, Team Beachbody. So they have definitely massively ramped up our staffing for that. And they explained just the massive undertaking that we've decided to embark upon with improving our customer service through the website and everything, as basically changing a plane engine while it's in flight. I was like, that's a really good analogy. So then there's also, how much will Hammer and Chisel cost? It'll be, I don't know on hardcore yet. Hammer and Chisel Challenge Pack is going to be on sale for $160. It'll normally be $180. There is more, just so that you guys would know, there's more training coming on compliance and top 7 tips. Jonathan Gelfand is the lead for our compliance department, and it was actually pretty darn interesting. And that's something that, even though it sounds like really boring, we all have to be understanding of what the rules are, and we don't want to be making claims on our wall that promises something that people aren't going to be able to get. We just need to be educated. We need to know what the rules are regarding gifting. We need to know what the rules are regarding incentives and that kind of thing, because the last thing that we want to do is just be moving around like a bunch of idiots and get our own company shut down because of legal mistakes, from ignorance. So it's our job as a coach to make sure that we understand what the rules are. And I've saved the slides, and I'll be getting that in probably either a screen share video or something on our team page, and not be doing that necessarily on a team call. So do look for that. Do make it a priority. It's your business, and you have to own your business like a CEO, and a CEO would want to know the ins and outs of that kind of thing. I think we're about to the fun stuff. The funner stuff. Now, this is pretty fun. Okay, so this is the last statistic, and it's a pretty fun one to end on. Okay, so coaches who have coaches earning Success Club points earn 15 times more income. I'm going to say that one again. Good night. Coaches with coaches who are earning Success Club points, it doesn't even mean hitting Success Club, it means earning Success Club points, earn 15 times more income than coaches who don't. Like, that's huge. Okay, So now that's all that I've got for like the information and statistics and stuff like that. Okay, so inspiration, which is the fun stuff. All right, so like I said, Carl talked a decent amount about problems and complaints, and he said, you know, like you can think of pulling, if there's a little tiny bit of extra thread on your sweater and you pull it and then the whole sweater unravels and you stand there naked, he said, and he's so funny anyway, but he was like, we may have a tiny thread and then people just keep pulling on it until it's something that it didn't have to be at all. So discussion is good and your points are valid, but letting fear impact your actions, not good. And we have to work together to keep our attitude on track. As entrepreneurs, it is our job to be constantly working to make things better. And man, there are so many good quotes on this document that I'll get for you guys, but there will be risks, there will be problems at any level of your business, whether you're a coach, an emerald, all the way up to Star Diamond and Elite, there are going to be problems. When you have people, you've got problems. If you don't have people, you've got problems. It's just the way that it is being a business owner, right? So the day that a coach does not have a challenge is the day that they're not growing. Seriously, like if you're not being challenged by your business, you're not growing. You're not stepping out of your comfort zone enough. And so we have to be proactive and intentional about finding that next thing that drives you. You know, say you wanted to hit Success Club and you hit it. Well, then what? Just vacation the rest of the month? We have to be constantly looking for ways to reinvent ourselves, looking for that next thing that challenges us, that pushes us, that fuels our fire. That's our job. We are entrepreneurs, and that's what we've chosen to do. So if you have a point in your business, and I have experienced this, and that was one of the most valuable things that came out of leadership. They had a panel of top coaches. There was Becky Brosette, Anita Myron, and who else was up there? Amy Silverman. And all top coaches, I think they're all at least 15-star and or top 10 in the network. And they each were totally vulnerable, totally transparent about just completely having meltdowns, you know, and breaking down, and their businesses falling apart and trying to figure it out. And the overarching takeaway that I got from them was that when that happens, we have to, and when we find that our business we get to the point where it's not fun. And if you've been in this business long enough, and you've been pushing yourself hard enough, you will have gotten to the point at some time where this business is not fun. And that's part of owning a business. So when that happens, we have to check ourselves through personal development. So we dig back into personal development. We have to find the new fire that maybe has been there and light that flame again. Maybe we have to look for a different flame. That's kind of what I've been going through here lately myself, is figuring out, you know what? I don't think that the thing that I've been using as fueling my flame, I don't think it's working for me anymore. I got to find something new. I got to find something different to keep me going and keep me excited. So that's our job to do. And we have to be very intentional about it. So we have to find that thing that is both painful and thrilling at the same time. Because if it's not painful, then it's not stretching us enough. And if it's not thrilling, then it's not meaningful enough to us, right? So that's how we deliver value to other people, and that's how we drive our business, because that's fueled by passion. And I'm going to end on this, and we've only just barely touched the surface of all that inspiration piece, but it's 9:35. The last one that I'll go to is you've got to win in your head before you're going to win in life. You've got to win in your head before you win in this business. You've got to win in your head before you hit Success Club. You have to win in your head before you hit Diamond. You have to know in your head, you have to see it, you have to believe it, that you are that thing, that you have met that goal before you will reach it. it all starts up here. And I remember the moment that I joined as a coach, and not that I joined as a coach, but the moment that I decided to actively become a coach in this business, I started telling myself that I was a diamond coach. That's who I was. I knew that inside of me, I was a diamond coach. And when I first met, I had the opportunity to go to the north side of Indianapolis and meet with Arnold Nakaha with corporate. He came into town, and I invited Erin to come along with me. She was a new coach at that time, but I could see the potential in her. And I said, Erin, you're a 15-star coach yet. It doesn't match up with what the online office says, but that's who you are. And I believed that in myself as well. And so it may not match up with where you are, what it says in the Coach Online office, but if you know who that is, who you are inside, then your actions will match up, and over time you will get there because your belief determines your actions, right? So you've got to win in your head before you win in life. Super, super true. And until you accept that, then sorry about your luck. Okay, so with that, I will be... Oh, I hate to part with all of this grand information and motivation without sharing it. I guess I'll go ahead and put the document on the team page. I don't know. Should I do a commentary or something? What do you guys think? You haven't seen it, so it would be kind of hard for you to tell. I think most of this is, you could follow it enough that I'll go ahead and put it out there. If we've got time to go through it next week on our team call, I would love to bring it back up and just dig into these things because there's so much value in this. And I don't want anybody to miss out on what I didn't actually type, like what's in my head from leadership, but is not actually on the paper. So that's what we'll do with that. But do get it. I would print it out, go through and highlight your favorite quotes, your favorite information. And that way you can use that to create Facebook posts around, Instagram posts around, that kind of thing. The other thing is, since I'm just thinking about it, the word Instagram popped out of my mouth. And, we on our team don't talk about Instagram all that often. And I'm finally realizing that because I'm not on Instagram that often. And so I don't talk about it that often, which I need to. Not that I need to get on there, but I need to at least talk about it more often because you may be an Instagrammer, you may be on Pinterest and not even realize the potential that you have to grow your business on those platforms. So just like I've put together that team benefit script and flow, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go back and rename that team benefit Facebook script and flow, and then I'm going to create the exact same thing for Instagram so that you know exactly how to pull people from Instagram and turn them into challengers and coaches. So I think hopefully somebody would find value in that as well. And then it would be great to do on Pinterest also. Okay, that being said, any questions before, bless you, Christy. Any questions before we wrap up the official team call portion? All right. Okay, so then I'm trying to look at who is on here. Kelly Carr, I think you might be on here. And then Christy. Both of you guys can hop out. And I will see you later on the team page. And the emeralds and above will stay on the call. Hold on. Kelly Carr, have you hit emerald? Did I miss it?
I am an emerald.
Hush up. Did I recognize you?
You did.
Oh, man, I'm losing my mind. All right, awesome. And then Christy DeVries, are you on there still? Did I say it wrong too? I think you've got two coaches, but one is inactive. My sweetheart. Hold on, let me go double check. Yeah, get Ann back. Get Ann back, and then you can hop on and watch the recording. All right. So have a good night, Christy, and then we will move forward. Okay. So congratulations, first of all, for qualifying for the call. And you know what? I have this printed out for you. No, I have it in the computer, but I don't have it printed out for you. Okay, so this one is basically the leadership portion of the leadership. So again, I am going to just go through what I felt like would be more valuable or more applicable for you as leaders versus just sharing with the team widespread. Hold on one second, though.